We made it! Finally, after a very long and winding road. Let's go to Canada. We just hope that this is the right way. So this morning when we got ready to go and everything, I started trying to put into words how it feels for me to be starting the last of the Triple Crown trails. And I guess the best way that I can really describe it is it kind of feels like I've been reading a trilogy. And you know how when you get to the last book of a really good trilogy, you don't want it to end yet. And so it's like bittersweet when you get to finally put your hands on that third book and start it. And that's kind of how this feels to me. It's very exciting, yet a little sad that I don't know that I want this to be over yet. But it's here, so that just means we have to soak in every minute and enjoy all that we can. Woohoo! First marker. First sip of water. It's so exciting. There are so many firsts again. First struggling to put the water in because the arms aren't as limber.
I need help putting my feet down.
Okay, I'll do. So I feel like I should say something about the road to get out here, because one of Perk's friends was nice enough, he lives in New Mexico, and he offered to drive us to the trailhead. So we took a road that we thought was the way based on the map on Gut Hooks and based on what Google said when we entered Crazy Kook Monument. Well, that's not the way to go. What we should have done was check out the directions on the CDTC website, because the first route that we took was very treacherous, extremely rutted, and it just seemed like it probably wasn't right, and it wasn't. So we ended up going back to town and staying another night. So we were gonna start a day earlier. But today, the drive out was still pretty exhausting. I think it's about 40 miles from pavement to the trailhead, but it is bumpy, cobbly, and there are water bars across the road, so it does make for a rough ride. Honestly, based on the price of fuel and just the struggles of not being able to find it the first day, the shuttle would have been a really good deal. So I know the shuttle is over $100, but even if you know somebody here, it still may just be worth it to take the shuttle, and I definitely think that it's worth the money after seeing the drive out here. But if you decide to make the drive for yourself anyway and have somebody drop you off, I would definitely say make sure you've got some good clearance on your vehicle. You might not necessarily need four-wheel drive, but I definitely wouldn't want to come down there in a low-riding car. Probably wasn't the best decision to start at the hottest part of the day. How do you feel so far, Aaron?
Like $1 million.
Well, I reckon I ought to introduce the two fellows that I'm going to be hiking with. So to start with, there is Perk. Now, for those of y'all who have followed my PCT and AT through hikes, you'll probably recognize Perk from being in those videos. So Perk was in the Navy for about 6 years, then he got out and went to school to be a science teacher. Perk and I and about 8 other folks became Tramily members on the AT at about Hot Springs. So before I started the PCT, Perk contacted me and he's like, hey, I heard you're gonna do the PCT this year. I was thinking about doing the same thing. And so we ended up starting together. We got separated for a while, especially through like the Sierra Nevada and such, but we did end up finishing together. So we decided, well, of course we gotta do the CDT now because it's 1 or 3. So anyway, we're gonna knock this Triple Crown thing out together. And then there's Aaron. He's actually one of my friends from back home, and I don't know if y'all have heard me talk about Aaron, the fella who edits the videos. Well, he is the one who's been editing my videos for about the past 2 years or so. So Aaron sat at home last year and would get the footage from the PCT, and I think he had kind of always wanted to go on a backpacking trip anyway. So I think it was probably torture for him to see footage from the trail and not get to be there. So this year he decided he wanted to come along on the CDT. Plus, he went to school for radio, television, and film, so He's a little bit more suave with the camera probably than I am, so I get to learn a few things about the camera and editing. He gets to learn some things about backpacking for me, so it's gonna be really fun. And putting our minds together will hopefully improve the videos. Now, the thing about Aaron, this isn't just his first through hike, this is actually his first backpacking trip. So it's gonna be really fun to be around somebody that everything going on is the first thing for them, you know, the first hitch, the first trail magic, etc. But I'm sure he's gonna hang in there just fine because let's face it, he's with 2 experts, right? Just kidding, it doesn't really matter, you know, who you're with or what level of experience they have. What really counts is what you've got inside of you, because that's what matters on a through hike. Huh. Well, this is gonna be a fun hike. Already starting off on the right foot with no tent stakes. Yeah. So luckily Perk is cowboy camping and I borrowed some of his extra stakes because he just staked down his footprint. And I got one tied up here, but anyway, I could have used rocks. Luckily I didn't have to go scavenging for big rocks and just made do. But what kind of rookie forgets stakes? What?
I wish I had a chance to
Figure out that your tent was upside down before I got over here with a way to get evidence.
using that.
Aaron had never set up his Z-Pack Solplex, that's the tent he's using, so I went over to kind of see how it was going. You know, I was kind of frustrated with myself, like I said, just with the way the day went, and his tent was completely upside down. I don't know, it's just kind of neat because, you know, this is his first through hike and this is my third, so I guess it just shows, like, I mean, that's exactly the point that I came from, you know, when I was first setting up the tent that I got at Neil Gap on trail before a thunderstorm. So, you know, it's just kind of fun to see somebody else in a place that I was like, yep, I was there, you know, and then to show him, well, like, look at all the things that, you know, I messed up on. Nothing ever goes perfectly as planned, and I guess that makes it more of an adventure. We ended up getting like 8.5 miles, which for like a 1:30 to 2 p.m. start wasn't really bad. Also, I have had a headache all day. I think I'm dehydrated, and that's not really a good way to start off a trail in the desert, but I didn't bring any extra water with me to drink while we were on the trip out here. So I was holding off on drinking my water till we hit the trailhead because I wanted to have enough water to last to the first cache. So just silly little mistakes. Frustrating. Like, I know how to do this. I've done 2 through hikes, so why can't I seem to get it together, you know? Well, it's funny how a day can turn around by, I was digging in my pack. I was just like, they've got to be in here. And they got down in the bottom of my compactor bag, so they must have just fallen out of my tent bag. But anyway, really glad that I found them because, I don't know, now I don't feel like such a failure. So all in all, I think it was a good day, and I'm really looking forward to what tomorrow will bring.
There really hasn't been much wildlife out here or any sign of life whatsoever, so it's been pretty desolate. This desert is much more brutal and I feel like unforgiving and prickly and just everything just more intense than the desert was on the PCT. And so far there have been no natural water sources. You know, that just feels scary. It just feels unnerving to know that you know, without relying on these caches, which we're always taught not to do, that it could be a pretty rude awakening out here. We are currently detouring a quarter of a mile to the first cache. Really excited to get there and chug some water. There she is. Let's just hope something's in it. Anything in it? Are they empty? Yay! The cache service provides 2 gallons of water for $10. So definitely worth it to make sure that you got some water out here. For lunch, I am having a paleo meals to go and some coffee, which I didn't really get this morning, and a lot of water. Park, what you got?
Ramen noodles with whatever them seaweed wraps you wrap sushi in for some green, and some from the same Asian market in Rockland County, the dried radishes that I actually bought for the PCT and never got around to using. So here they are in the CDT.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron.
My pack's over there, so I guess nothing.
Right now we're playing Find the Post across the desert. Yeah, what I was seeing is yucca, I think.
Like that thin one that's
Yeah.
got a little white patch left of it
Yep.
or something. I guess it's leaves. All right, well.
I don't see the next post, but almost all of them have been kind of straight ahead. So.
Oh, I do.
Do you?
Just a tiny smidge below the ridge. I believe that's a post. There's like a, like the height of the post, like one more height above it is the top of the ridge.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
anyway, that by 12 o'clock. I'm gonna
Oh, yeah,
walk
I
there. And if it's not, I'll be disappointed.
If it's not, we'll just keep looking. I just figure it's gonna keep going up. When in doubt, go up. What if whoever found it first got a Snickers? Like that fell from the heavens? It would be more fun. Don't fly away! Woo! Like I just did. My tent is still here. Perk is there, but his tent got blown away last night. Aaron's tent is still there. Just kidding.
I
Perk,
set it up all by
cowboy
myself,
camp.
too.
Yeah, all by himself, and it stayed. It's impressive. That was, I think, the worst wind my tent has seen, or at least maybe the second worst wind, but that was pretty rough. I was waiting for you to just sit up and start playing your uke to the wind.
Maybe
Hoping
if I knew
it would calm it down.
Ocarina of Time wind song, I could control the wind, but I don't.
Well,
I'll have to download that.
yeah, in Lordsburg, that's on the to-do list.
Yeah.
Well, there it is, folks. The only flower in the entire New Mexico desert. Well, just kidding. There's a second one. Have you got a friend there next to you?
Was.
Lunch? So we haven't found any natural shade today. So luckily Perk is wearing a hat and me and Aaron are having a hide under our umbrellas. Do you want to throw cow turds too?
No, I had enough of that.
What does that mean?
Well, that time I thought a cow was a bear and I tried to pick up
Yeah.
rocks to throw it at it.
Yeah, Perk's seen some. Am I right?
That's right.
And it was not
It was was like really weak sandstone. It kept falling apart in my fingers.
And
So
really,
this isn't gonna club a bear. What am I gonna do? Then it was a cow. Laugh it up.
New Mexico kind of reminds me of Mars in the way that there isn't much life and it's just kind of dirt and arid. And I guess the wind and the cactus are like maybe reminders that I'm not on Mars, except I guess there's wind on Mars, right? Maybe. I don't know. Never been there. Just imagine that this is like, these are palm trees at the beach and the beach is just over there. Follow the mirage. I'm still not giving in and wearing pants, but I would definitely say if you're gonna wear pants on any of the Triple Crown trails, CDT might be the one. So Aaron just announced that he had to crab walk out of his tent last night because he lost the no poos in the wilderness game. And I lost a long time ago. And Perk is still holding strong, so
USA! USA!
So he won between the three of us, but now he's just competing with himself. Just don't crap yourself, Perk.
No.
So Aaron, were you like in a dead sleep and it happened, or
I was in dead sleep and I felt that pain.
a pain?
It took me about an hour, the whole ordeal.
The whole ordeal took it. I've been riding through the desert on a horse with no name. It feels good to be out of the rain. Some. It's another toasty morning here in the desert. Slightly windy too, but not too bad. We actually got to sleep last night because the wind didn't just blow violently all night long. That's good. We are 13.7 miles from the road to Hachita, which is where our first resupply boxes are. And I don't know if we'll make it today. Aaron's not feeling well, apparently. Holy smokes, it's the first tree for miles. How did I know that I'd find y'all here? Well, looky there. That just looks like something off of Fivel Goes West. I'm gonna have some of your water, okay? We had planned on going to Hachita for sure to get the boxes that we sent there, but we decided during the stretch to go ahead and also go into town just to kind of reboot, recharge everything, sleep in a bed and wash our clothes, all of that stuff. But I'm really glad that we decided to do that now that Aaron got sick. So we were joking around about him crab crawling out of his tent and all that, but apparently it was pretty bad. Because out here, especially in the desert with how hot it is, how little shade there is, and just the exposure, the conditions, things can go south really fast, especially when you're dehydrated because it all came out in one sitting. The desert just isn't a good place to have that situation. So Aaron's first hitch happens to be with Border Patrol. Hopefully he can at least get us to Hachita, and then there's nowhere to stay there, but hopefully from there we can find somewhere to stay. But I'll tell you what, even with the stresses of the trail and how real they are, if I had the option of, being out here and dealing with all the things that could go wrong or sitting in a cubicle, I'd definitely take this, and all the ups and downs and misery and happiness. Getting back in this and getting used to the desert heat again and the wind and how dry everything is. It's taken some grapping. And I don't know, today it just hit me again, like, this is awesome. Like, yeah, it's a desert. Like, I'm out in the wilderness and I'm experiencing something that a lot of people don't get to. Just took a couple of days of getting used to it and getting back at it to make me really realize that and really start soaking in the beauty and the experience of all of it. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be on the last leg of the Triple Crown. And I'm gonna give it all I've got, and I'm gonna soak in every last drop.